welcome to Whitehorse Music TV! My name is Richard Budina and I am co-owner of this wonderful shop with my lovely wife. I'm not co-owner of my lovely wife. I'm co-owner of this lovely shop with my wonderful wife, Michelle Budina, who is behind the camera. Do not step on her. Now today, the reason that I have got so excited with my Whitehorse Music TV is because I'm interviewing two exceptional violins. First of all, I am introducing you to a violin made by Andrea Schudtz in Italy. And a violin made in the workshop of William E. Hill and Sons in London in 1930. Now I'll start with the Andrea Schudtz violin. So Andrea Schudtz studied at the Cremona School of Violin Making, and he is an amazing maker. Now, I met him at a giant trade show in Shanghai in China, and yeah, his violins are incredible. Around 20,000 Australian dollars, but you know, that might seem like a lot of money to you, but if you buy 10 you get one free, so not so expensive now that you look at it that way. He is an amazing maker. So every violin that I get from him has a huge amount of depth in the bottom. There is not one violin that I do not get from him There is not one violin that I get from him that I play my first note down the bottom and it does not sound so deep that it makes my eyebrows go up like that. They are very, very impressively deep, and that's what I like about them. You want something pretty amazing if you're paying that sort of money. Now the reason they cost this much money is because to fully hand make a violin takes a long time, a couple of months maybe. 2 months of Italian wages, I don't know, that sounds like lots of money, and then he uses extremely high quality woods. Makers like Andrea Schudtz don't say, yeah, I just think I'll just use that piece of pine there and make a violin. No, they don't. Because their reputation is on the line every time they're making a violin, and so they get the best quality wood they can get, and they have a plan before they start, and they make something that is a work of art. Now this violin, interestingly, you might look at the tailpiece and say, oh no, what's happened to the tailpiece? This is a ZMT tailpiece that I got, which is an interesting new tailpiece that has more length behind on the bottom two strings than it does on the top two strings, which gives more sort of tautness and more clarity and strength to the sound of the bottom notes. Very interesting. Another thing which I find really awesome about it is that if you have it set up right, this length behind here plucks as a D, an octave higher than your open D string. And what that does is it resonates in sympathy with that string. You get more sustain on your notes. You know how when you're playing your third finger on the E string, the A, it rings more because the A open string is ringing in sympathy with that third finger. Now, the D note, there is a little bit more resonance there. Very interesting and very clever. So anyway, that's sort of a bit of a side thing. This doesn't come with that particular tailpiece usually, it's just that I thought, I've got a fancy Andrea Schudtz violin, I am going to try to hot it up with this wonderful tailpiece. You have to buy their particular G string, because if you put a normal G string on here, it would not be long enough. So, interesting. So now I will compare, I'll show you this Hill violin. I got this Hill violin years and years ago, and I've been playing it myself. Haha! And we have it valued at about $30,000. But this is like, I really don't have another violin to compare the Schudtz to, so I thought, why not pull out one of my favourite antique violins? Now, it's an interesting comparison because you've got an old violin versus a new violin, and you'll find people will come in and they will say, no, I don't want new violins. What would I buy a new violin for in that price range? Well, because it sounds awesome. And some people who come in and say, I want a new handmade violin by a modern maker. I don't want any of that old rubbish. Why would I want any of this old rubbish? Because you could buy something like this. I generally, when people come in and they say, should I get old or new, I just say, try all the violins and choose the one that sort of resonates with you and sounds the best and that you enjoy and that you'll play lots because you love it. Okay, now I'll compare these two violins. Strong and very, very deep. And one thing that I can say about this violin is that I used to use an old German trade violin that was about 100 years old, and then I got this years and years ago when I was playing my string quartet. And Jamesy, who was sitting next to me, the second violinist, it came to a part where I had to play loudly. And I pushed this violin, it got louder and louder, and it didn't stop getting louder the harder I pushed, where my previous violin would start sort of distorting and not sort of getting up to those heights. And James turned around to me and said, "Can you shut up?" So that says something about this violin. A good violin, a good professional quality violin, when you push it, it continues to provide strength. You get a similar sort of response from this violin, the Andrea Schudtz violin. I will play it. There's that depth that I talked about. Okay, so the Andrea Schudtz has this amazing depth down the bottom, but also a lot of clarity throughout the sound, throughout the entire violin, and this sort of consistent nature. I don't know how he does it exactly, but always he has that depth down the bottom. And often when you have, a violin that has a huge amount of depth down the bottom, as you're playing up the scale, you're thinking, oh no, I've got so much depth down the bottom, it's just not going to continue to be full up to the top, but this is. And that's what I love about his violins. And that's why I'll continue to get them, continue to sell them, where this Hill violin is very, very, very full. I mean, you're working to pull out this big, lush, rich sound down the bottom. It's quite different to the Andrea Schudtz, despite them both having this amazing depth. This is more like, like very, very, very full bowl of something very thick. That's not a very good description. Very, very, very full, where the Andrea Schudtz is more like, I have all of that depth, but I'm taking out this little tiny thing so that it's easier to pull the sound out. It's interesting. So, but they both are professional level violins, and I've played this one for years. The Andrea Schudtz I would be happy to play with as well. They're the sort of violins, and that's the reason that you can go out with these and play professionally, is because they don't crack under pressure. They don't get to that triple forte and fortissimo and then, stop giving. I'll play them one more time. They both get the thumbs up at Whitehorse Music. If I had more than 2 thumbs, they would be going up. Please subscribe.